welcome to part 13 of Let's Play Metal Gear Solid on the Sony PlayStation. Let's continue the game. Okay, so we've defeated Vulcan Raven, and now we're heading towards where Metal Gear is being kept. Yesterday, I watched a couple of videos of someone else's playthrough, and I discovered a couple of very interesting things. Firstly, after you defeat Revolver Ocelot and you need to call Merrill, if you keep calling Colonel Campbell, eventually, if you keep calling Colonel Campbell without calling Merrill, eventually Merrill's frequency will appear inside the list of codec contacts. This particular video, they hadn't contacted Nastasia yet, so Merrill spontaneously appeared in the fourth slot, so the second one down on the right. I believe this happens because not everyone will have the CD case with the frequency on it. It could have been destroyed, lost, or maybe someone bought the game secondhand. So I think in the video he called Colonel Campbell about 4 or 5 times, and then Merrill's frequency 140.15 or whatever appeared spontaneously in the codec list, which I found very interesting because when I first played the game, I didn't have the CD case, and I just tried every frequency until I got it right. But yeah, it does appear, so that's very good of them to put that in there. Also, Deep Throat. It is possible for Deep Throat to call you a third time. If you remember, Revolver Ocelot will put a bomb. I said Revolver Ocelot will put a bomb in your inventory if you survive the torture and escape. Apparently, although I haven't substantiated this, Deep Throat will call you a few seconds before it's due to go off, just to warn you. So if you haven't gotten rid of the bomb by that point. So that's very interesting. So Deep Throat can call you a third time. The other thing which I found was very interesting was, if you remember, I sort of talked about during the Psycho Mantis fight that I sort of remembered being able to shoot the statues with belts around their head, and I thought I must have dreamt it. But apparently it is possible, because in the same series, this person mentioned that if you can't plug the controller into controller port 2 to get by Psycho Mantis's quote-unquote mind reading, if you can't do that for some reason, you can't put controller 1 into controller port 2 for some reason, although I don't know why you wouldn't be able to do that, because every PlayStation had at least 2 controller ports, unless you got a multi-tap to get more. You can keep calling Colonel Campbell and Naomi, and eventually Naomi will say something like, if you shoot the statues, they're statues that were modelled after Psycho Mantis, and if you shoot them, then Psycho Mantis will see his real face, which he hates, and that will distract him and stop him from reading your mind, and therefore you can defeat him. Which is a little bit weird, because for 2 reasons. One, he did actually demonstrate shooting the statues, and it shoots the whole head off. So if you shoot the whole head off, then how is he actually looking at his face if you can't actually see his face, because the head's been because the head of the statues have been blown up, or rather destroyed. So how can he see his own face? And secondly, it seems a bit sort of a little bit weird why they're in the quote-unquote commander's room, why there would be statues of Psycho Mantis. Why would they have a statue of Psycho Mantis, or at least someone who looks like Psycho Mantis, in a commander's room? So it seems like they sort of tacked that bit on at the end, because they thought, oh no, what if people can't use controller port 2 for some reason? Let's have them being able to shoot the statue, and then that will distract Psycho Mantis. And also, I don't think that would distract Psycho Mantis that much, so that he couldn't, read your mind or whatever. It just seems a bit ridiculous. But anyway, that's that. Anyway, so I found that very interesting. So I didn't dream about shooting the statues. I remembered that. I remember doing that when I was little, shooting the statues, but I've never been able to do it, and that's why. It's because you can only do it during the boss fight if you can't plug controller port 1 into controller 1 into controller port 2 for some reason. Anyway, so I thought the Merrill thing was very interesting. Yeah, so that's really interesting. Oh yeah, one more thing actually. When you first are trying to rescue the Darba chief and you see Meryl doing sit-ups, if you leave and come back, then she's doing one-arm press-ups like Rocky in Rocky 1 or whatever with her left arm. If you leave and come back again, she's doing sit-ups but without her trousers on. And if you leave and come back again, then she's doing the one-arm press-ups without her trousers on. And if you keep going back and forth, and it just switches between the sit-ups and the press-ups without her trousers on. So again, I thought that was very interesting. You know, I did not know that could happen. Yeah, also, the ninja, when he shows up to rescue you from the jail cell, if you did not use the ketchup properly, he doesn't kill Johnny or knock Johnny out. He only turns up after Johnny's gone to the toilet, then he'll come and open the door and then just sort of jump into the air and disappear. So he doesn't knock Johnny out, but he does open the door, so I remembered that mostly. Anyway, so that was interesting, wasn't it? Anyway, so let's load the game. You know, as I said, we have defeated Vulcan Raven, and now we're heading towards Metal Gear. Someone left a comment saying they liked my impression of Vulcan Raven. I didn't intend to do an impression of him. It was completely ad-libbed and off the cuff. Anyway, enough of that. Right, now we're heading towards Metal Gear. Yeah, so I'm still discovering things about this game even now. Okay, more of those annoying trapdoor floors are around here. So put the thermals on. Yeah, there they are. There's also some of those annoying gun cameras. You can use the Stinger missiles, but I wouldn't waste them, especially if you're on a harder difficulty. Just use a chaff grenade. We just got some. There we go. Another ration. There's loads of those guns out here, so I recommend throwing another one. More Stinger missiles. There's another way up here. Better throw another one. Just more Stinger missiles, really. So if you want to stock up on them, then go for it. But I wouldn't waste them, because on a harder difficulty, those Stingers would not be there. Anyway, then go through here. And here she is. Zoom. You'll understand what I just said in a moment. There we go. Zoom. Now, I still don't know what causes sometimes the PAL key to get eaten by a rat, or get carried by a rat, or just randomly appear in the radioactive water. Hold on. Sorry, the emulator just spontaneously crashed. So I've had to start again. Anyway, so I still don't know what causes the rat to eat the PAL key, or sometimes it just appears in the water. If the rat does eat the PAL key, then you have to sort of lure it out with a... Well, not lure it out, but sort of try to find it, then you have to shoot it or blow it up or something to get the PAL key. And every time you walk in the radioactive water, it sort of takes a little bit of your health off, like the cigarettes do. So, I still don't know what causes that to happen. It's obviously easier if the rat doesn't eat it. But if it does, you just have to sort of find it. Yeah, I don't know what caused the emulator to crash there. My apologies for that. Yeah, instant death if you fall down those... if you fall down those trapdoors. Instant death. You know, they're like a pathway to hell. Okay, we just saw that. Zoom. Anyway, for now we just have to climb the ladders all the way up to the top of Metal Gear. Here we go.
Snake, it's me.
What's wrong?
Did you find a good place to hide?
Yeah, thanks to the stealth gear. It looks like they've finished getting Metal Gear ready.
How do you know that?
I overheard them talking. Where are you now?
Right in front of Metal Gear, but it's strange.
What is?
There's nobody here. No guards, nobody patrolling. It's too quiet.
Maybe because they're all ready. They said they even input the PAL codes.
What should I do?
All we can do is use the override system that President Baker told you about.
But I've only got one of the 3 keys, and besides that, like Ocelot said, there's some trick to using the keys.
Leave it to me.
You got some kind of plan?
Well, I'm in the computer room right now. I'm trying to access Baker's private files.
Baker's files? Don't you need a password?
Of course, but there are ways.
Are you a hacker?
Yup, that describes me pretty well.
Does it look like you can get in?
I don't know yet. I'll give it a try.
I'm counting on you.
I've just thought of something. How did Ocelot get to, where we first meet him, without a gas mask? Because he would have had to have walked through that gas. Maybe he has one, I don't know. Anyway, more things there. Oh.
Snake, it's me again.
How's it going?
Not bad. I just got past his 3rd security level. He was a pretty careful guy.
Do you think you'll break in soon?
I never met a system I couldn't bust into.
Okay, keep trying.
Oh yeah, near where we first met Meryl, in the vent, before you go up the ladder, before you rescue the DARPA chief, I should have checked in that little vent that leads nowhere. There's apparently an item in there, but not on harder difficulties. I don't know what was in there, to be honest, I can't remember, but either a ration. It must have been a ration because we didn't have. Oh no, it could have been some SOCOM ammo. Either that or a ration, I don't know, but whatever it is, it's not too interesting. I'm a bit confused with this whole PAL key thing. Let's say they wanted to use it. How would they use it in an emergency to override? Because they'd have to, make it hot and make it cold. Would they sort of be walking around with a lighter or some ice cubes or something just in case they need to, override the system?
Snake, I did it!
You got past security?
Bingo!
Great. So what do you got?
I accessed the confidential Metal Gear file.
So what about the PAL override system that Baker talked about?
I haven't found it yet.
That's what I need to know.
But Snake, I found something else.
What?
The secret behind the new nuclear weapon. Just as I thought, the nuclear warhead is designed to be fired from the railgun like a projectile. It doesn't use fuel, so it isn't considered a missile. That way it can get around all sorts of international treaties.
Pretty sneaky.
Yes, but effective. And that's not even the scariest thing about this weapon.
Oh, I can't wait to hear this.
It's a stealth weapon.
You mean it won't show up on radar?
Yeah. The truth is, they've been working on a stealth missile since the late 70s.
Why weren't they able to develop one until now?
Because of the missile rocket propulsion system, it would be picked up by enemy satellites.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
But unlike a missile, the railgun doesn't burn any propellant, so it can't be detected by any current ballistic missile detection systems.
An invisible nuclear warhead.
Totally impossible to intercept. And on top of that, it's got a surface-piercing warhead designed to penetrate hardened underground bases.
Yeah, we learned that lesson in the Gulf War.
This thing could mean the end of the world.
It's the ultimate weapon. And from a political point of view, it avoids the problem of nuclear reduction and nuclear inspections. Colonel, is this true? Are you listening?
I'm listening.
If word of this got out, it could delay the signing of the START 3 treaty and cause a huge international incident.
Yeah, it would be nasty. The United States would be denounced by the UN. It could even bring the president down.
Did you know this, Colonel?
I'm sorry.
You've changed, Colonel.
I won't make any excuses.
Snake, listen to me. This new nuclear weapon, it's never actually been tested, only simulated.
You mean they ran a computer model?
Yeah, that's why they were conducting this exercise. They needed to get actual experimental data to back up the simulation.
What were the results of the exercise?
It looks like it went better than they hoped for, but I can't find the data anywhere on this network. You'd think the data as important as that would be carefully recorded.
It was. President Baker gave me an optical disc with all of the test data.
What? You still have it?
No, Ocelot took it from me.
Damn. The terrorists have replaced the dummy warhead with a real warhead. Once they input the detonation codes, they should be ready to launch.
So you think they can do it?
Well, the dummy warhead was designed to be identical to the real thing, so I think so.
Did you find out how to override it yet?
Not yet. It must be in a separate file. Right now I'm looking through all of Baker's personal files.
We're counting on you.
Okay, there are guards over here. I have to be careful because the radar doesn't work. Yeah, there he is.
Snake?
Did you find it?
No. I haven't found out about the override system yet, but I found Baker's ulterior motive.
He's just looking to get rich, isn't he?
That's part of it. Armstech is in much worse financial trouble than I thought.
I know they lost their bid to make the next generation fighter jet. That plus the reduction in SDI spending.
It looks like there was even some talk of a hostile takeover.
Everything was riding on this project, I guess.
It looks like we were paying a lot of bribe money to the DARPA chief.
Bribe money, huh?
Yeah, and Baker was a big proponent of the nuclear deterrent theory.
I see. So anyway, what about the override?
Just give me a little bit longer.
Sure, there's another guard around here. No, okay. Maybe later.
Okay, I've entered the PAL codes and disengaged the safety device. We can launch anytime.
There's still no response from Washington. It looks like we'll have to show them that we mean business.
Should I set it for Cherniton, Russia?
No, there's been a change. The new target is Lopnor, China.
Why, boss?
I'm sure neither you nor Mr. Golukovich would really like to see a nuclear bomb dropped on your motherland, right?
Liquid. But why? There's nothing there.
Wrong. It's a nuclear test site.
A nuclear test site?
If we nuke a major population center, the game's over. But a nuclear explosion at a test site can still be concealed from the public. Meanwhile, Washington will be worried about the retaliatory strike from China.
That'll probably mean top-secret talks between both countries' leaders.
Of course. And in the process, the President will be forced to divulge the existence of a new and highly destabilizing nuclear weapon to the Chinese. What do you think that will do to the US's reputation? Or the President's?
And with the CTBT, that means that China and India. I see.
Yes. When the other countries hear about this new weapon, they'll all want to contact us. Washington won't be very happy when we start selling their own system to the highest bidders. Yes, the President will break. He will give in to our demands.
Big Boss's DNA and $1 billion.
$1 billion? That money will be used to cure our genome soldiers as well. I'm also including the Fox-Die vaccine in our demands.
Fox-Die. It killed Octopus and the Armstech president. So it's true that it affects older people first. Mantis might not have been affected because he wore a mask.
Wolf wasn't infected either. Perhaps due to those tranquilizers she always took.
Something to do with the adrenaline level in the blood. Or maybe it's just because this Fox die was still experimental and they haven't worked out all the bugs yet.
In any case, have you heard from your friend, Colonel Sergei Golukovich, at the Spetsnaz?
He still has doubts about the ability of Metal Gear. He said we can talk after Metal Gear's test launch is successful.
He's a very prudent man.
There's nothing to worry about. The Colonel wants Metal Gear and a new nuclear weapon so bad he can taste it. If Russia wants to regain its position as a military superpower, they need to reinforce their nuclear arsenal. They need a nuclear weapon that can't be intercepted. Metal Gear will allow them to gain first strike capability over the rest of the world.
Their regular army is in shambles, and they think they can restore their country's military power with nuclear weapons? Golukovich, he's no warrior. He's a politician.
But he's the one who gave us the Hind and most of our other heavy firepower.
He's got over 1,000 soldiers under his command. If we join forces, we could put up quite a resistance here. Since Mantis died, the Genome Soldiers' brainwashing has started to wear off. I'm worried about the men's morale. An alliance with the Russians would boost that as well.
What are you saying?
We're not going anywhere. We're going to dig in here.
We could still escape.
We've got the most powerful weapon ever made, and we're about to ally with Golukovich's forces.
Are you going to fight the whole world?
And what's wrong with that? We can launch a nuclear warhead at any target on this planet. A nuclear warhead invisible to radar. And on top of that, this base is full of spare nuclear warheads. Once we get the DNA and the money, the world will be ours.
What about your promise to Colonel Golukovich?
I have no interest in the revival of Mother Russia.
You're not thinking of reviving Big Boss's dream.
From today, call this place Outer Heaven.
Big Boss's dream.
But boss, you're not worried about the PAL being overridden. If the code is in it again, it'll be deactivated.
No need to worry. The DARPA chief and the Armstech president are both dead.
Does Snake know how the override system works?
You interrogated him, don't you know?
He didn't have any keys on him.
Good. Then no one can stop Metal Gear now.
By the way, what should we do with that woman? Want me to kill her?
Let her live. She's Campbell's niece, and Snake cares for her. We'll keep her as our ace in the hole.
Meryl. She's alive.
Snake, I found Baker's top-secret files.
Great job.
How's it going there?
They've finished inputting the PAL codes. So, how do we deactivate them?
Okay, you see the override system that the President was talking about. It can also be used to input the detonation codes. You see, if you insert the keys when the warhead is active, you deactivate it. And if you insert them when it's inactive, it becomes activated. And you can only use the keys once.
Only once, huh?
Yeah, you better get started. We don't have much time.
But it takes 3 keys, right? I've only got one of them.
Hold on a minute. You see, that's the trick. You already have all 3 keys.
What are you talking about?
The card key is made of a shape memory alloy.
Shape memory alloy?
Yes. It's a material that changes shape at different temperatures. The key is made out of it.
This card key?
Yeah. The card key changes shape at different temperatures.
So this key is actually 3 keys in one. Clever.
Can you see the input terminals in the center of the control room?
I see them.
Those 3 laptop terminals are for the emergency input. There should be a symbol on each screen. Each symbol corresponds to a different key. Input the keys in order from left to right. The left one's for the room temperature key. See the symbol? Next to that goes the low temperature key. The one on the right is the high temperature key.
Okay, I got it. First, I change the shape of the card, and then I input them in order, right?
That's right. All you do is insert the card keys. After you insert the key into the module, a hard disk reads the information contained on it. Once you've finished with all 3 terminals, the code input process is complete. But here's the thing. You can only use the key 3 times. It's an emergency system. It's only meant to be used once.
The world is riding on that key, Snake.
Who's that?
Damn!
The key fell in the drainage ditch.
Hasn't fallen yet.
Snake, this is bulletproof glass. There's no way in. I'll enjoy watching you die.
He's acting, seriously.
Snake, you've got to get that key.
I'm just confused with this key malarkey. If it's an emergency key, you know, and it's all that's standing in the way of a nuclear launch, why is it so fiddly to use? They need to use it quickly. I mean, how would you use that in an emergency? Oh no, it's an emergency. I have to stop a nuclear missile. Now I have to run inside the freezer quickly. Right, now I have to go near a furnace. I'll be right back. I mean, what if there isn't a freezer or a furnace nearby? How are they going to stop a nuclear weapon being launched? The whole thing is absolutely preposterous. Only a complete nincompoop would invent such a system. Anyway, yeah, so we have to go and get the key because Snake stupidly dropped it in the ditch. Because the master of infiltration himself was spotted with his arm being around the corner. Let's just get rid of that annoying gun now. There we go. Right, thermal goggles at the ready. Yes, our health is going down bit by bit. A ration, I wouldn't eat that ration, not near this radioactivity, blimey. You know, that one's in the water, I wouldn't touch that. Blimey. Okay, unknown where this key is, it's somewhere around here. No, that's a bomb. We have to get rid of that. For some reason, picking up a bomb means it's automatically activated. Oh, there it is. It was there. Yeah, so it wasn't inside a rat this time. I've only had it inside the rat a couple of times. Anyway, that's that. Now that we've done that, whoops, we now need to go back upstairs, or back up the ladder again and put the power key in. So off we go. I mean, this is one of the more tedious bits of the game. We have to keep going up and down these ladders to put the power key in. I mean, if a nuclear weapon is about to go off and kill millions of people and end the world or whatever, and you can't turn it off because you have to take the key to a freezer, I mean, it's just... Oh, it's beyond ridiculous. There's no way that would actually exist. No way. Let's get over there. Here he comes. Yeah, you don't want to be alerted when you go up to that door, otherwise it will close or something, so you have to make sure you're not seen. Oh, what's over here quickly? Okay, that's the entrance to Metal Gear. Somehow Ocelot and Liquid Snake have disappeared. I mean, Liquid Snake is the only one who's not called by his second half of his code name. He's called by the first half. He's the only one. All the rest of them are called, like, you know, Wolf, Raven. He's called Liquid, which, you know, which isn't it just doesn't add up. And let's use a chaff grenade. Okay, we need to put the PAL key in. Yeah, so I don't know what causes the PAL key sometimes to be inside a rat or whatever. Whoops. Oh, there we go. You need to stand near it with it equipped.
PAL code number 1 confirmed. Awaiting PAL code number 2.
Okay, that takes care of PAL code number 1. Now, PAL number 2. Freeze the key.
Loads of cameras in this place. Okay, and here's where I'm going to save the game. I'll just go all the way downstairs or whatever first. Another guard. Where is he? Oh. Yeah, he always comes back, that guard, so you have to watch that. Always comes back. Okay, when you freeze the key, don't keep it equipped, because it could sort of, you know, thaw in your hand or whatever, so just go and freeze it, and then just come back as quickly as possible. I think on the GameCube remake, the Twin Snakes or whatever, there's some sort of pipe that you can shoot and it blasts out cold air or something, or gas, and you can freeze it there, so you don't have to worry about this annoying backtracking. But it's just really tedious, this, and it's definitely a low point of the game for me, just going back and forth across this area. You need to, if you just go back to where you fought Vulcan Raven, that's cold enough, but there will be guards in there now, so you have to avoid them, or, you know, deal with them. I am going for those missiles that I got before the game crashed. Ah, git. You know, why would they invent them or build them so that their eyes go different colours? Anyway, you just have to hang around here until the PAL key is frozen. Oh no, the guards haven't come back yet, or the guards aren't here yet. Yeah, I remember now. The guards come here when you're going to the furnace to make the key hot. Then there are guards here. Otherwise, we just have to hang around. Vulcan Raven's gun is still there. Always amuses me how, you know, there's never anything that's a perfect cylinder in these PlayStation games. It's always sort of like slightly angular. You know, this is like hexagonal. Yes, hexagonal. I really wish we could use that gun. It looks really fun to use. You know, is the PAL key frozen yet? If you do that, then you can see. Nope. Anyway, I'm going to save the game here because I can't be bothered to do any more. Yeah, next video we'll freeze the key and then make the key hot and then do the POW thingamabob. So yeah, let's save the game, use the third one.
Snake, in China they say, when walking through a melon patch, don't adjust your sandals. That means that when things get really bad, you have to try to remember what's important. Keep things in the proper perspective, okay?
Wow, you are patronising. Anyway, so yeah, that's that. In the next video, we'll be doing the POW thingamajig with the cold key and the hot key. So thanks for watching, and goodbye.